become like that uncle relation is gone. It's become like friends. It's like, here you go in some manner. It's like, oh man, it's okay when you get back to set, and then we travel sometimes together. We try to.
And you know, Rana's also been brought up and is part of a family that really loves each other. He's the ultimate Karan Johar family.
I don't think any of us are bothered by what people are thinking online.
Our reaction to the wokeness.
No, we don't have to listen to him actually. So I make the promises, she'll figure out how to keep.
Yeah. That's how marriage also works.
I see.
I have not really heard many stories about male child abuse or boys coming up and talking about something like that.
So she's gangster on set.
We can't enter that country.
We pay our respect, salute, and
But the set is also so much fun because she's there.
Say it.
Say it.
Please watch Rana Naidu season 2
Hold the gun.
on... Hello everyone, welcome to News 18. I am Titas Chowdhury in conversation with team Rana Naidu season 2. Hello everyone.
Hello.
How are you?
Amazing.
All good?
Yeah. All well.
Before I start this, I want to say that how much of fun I had watching season 1. I finished it in 2 days. And it was, it was crazy. It was a crazy show. That's what it is. And, Venki sir, of course, he has an amazing sense of humor. And I want to ask you, does he actually have a wicked sense of humor?
He has a sense of humor. Wicked, not so much. He actually doesn't have a evil bone, really.
Yeah.
That's how he is.
he's a saint.
That's
too.
true.
He's
Yeah.
a
In
saint.
fact,
That's true.
he's too much of a saint like that.
So what we saw on screen was like an alter ego maybe of his.
Yeah, I think
Something that he cannot really...
I guess he's been acting for so long and he's like, okay. And it was the pandemic and he saw me doing some crazy things. He's like, okay, what the hell are you doing? And then he came into this wild ride with us.
Fabulous. But while you were working with him, did you sort of discover a new dynamic to your equation?
We definitely got much closer because we spent a lot more time together. We've never been on a set together like acting. Like I was always doing some behind the scenes work when he was on set. And yeah, no, I think one is we've become like that uncle relation is gone. It's become like friends. It's like, here you go in some manner. It's like, oh man, it's okay when you get back to set, and then we travel sometimes together. We try to, we have so many meals together. So I think that bond was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you called him a saint. So did you actually see that switch on, switch off every time the camera would turn on?
So there are a couple of things. He is a man who likes to cut off himself and go to the mountains and spend a month or two. His relationship to money is very different from the rest of us. But there's a naughty side to him. And he will let it come out every now and then. And that side is what is amplified 1,000,000 times over by Karan when we watch Rana Naidu. So yeah.
Right. Can you add something? What was like your first conversation with him like?
Look, I had no idea what he was like, okay, when he came on board. So for me, like when it was on Zoom, that first call, and he was...
Yeah, with the beard. Yeah, I remember that
he had a big beard and he had a beanie on. I was like, okay, this meeting is over because you are already looking the part. And I know you're a great actor, so there's not much to do. And of course, one had a sense that he was the nicest man there is to work with. So we already knew that. And the only thing was that, Rana's also been brought up and is part of a family that really loves each other. He's the ultimate Karan Johar family. The Daggubatis. Okay, none of the... Yeah, actually, not even. It's the...
Yeah, Suraj Barjatya.
Rajshri
films.
Yeah, and so the only challenge was to, of course, get them to not like each other on screen and build some of that fireworks. I was really hoping it wouldn't slip into, but they're such seasoned, brilliant actors that
right.
It just took no effort at all. It wasn't any effort for me to do anything. I just had to watch the show while directing it.
Right, but we'll have to address the elephant in the room. When that first season released, of course, people like me, we really loved watching it. But there was so much conversation about the violence quotient in it, the intimacy factor, nudity, in the show. At that time, what did you really make of it?
Well, I think that making anything of it is not the way to put it. It was all in service of the story and the characters, to be honest with you. The definition of gratuitous is something that's over the top for a reaction. And that's not what we were doing. While it might have been extreme for some viewers, it really was all in the context of the story, in the context of the storylines. This season, season 2, has got so much more emotion, character build, and a lot of actually action and thrills. So I think that the focus and the conversation is going to be about that more than anything else in season 2. I think people are going to be really impressed with the new characters we brought in, the wonderful cast we've added. It's going to blow people away.
Yeah, right. Anybody wants to add anything else?
See, fact is, whatever you saw in season 1, they came out of a certain strata of society. These
Yeah,
are the characters that are intrinsically true to who they are. And this is a space or a medium where you have the liberty of showcasing characters and stories the way they are meant to be, without sugarcoating it too much. There was, as Sunder said, nothing gratuitous about it, right? We're not doing it for the fun of it. Let's see, how much we can push it and stuff like that in terms of for fun, but rather than it was required and necessary.
Right.
And in this season, as the story goes along, you'll see it's almost like it's a masala mix, right? When you're cooking. It's a different mix this time around completely. So what we did was in service of the story and the characters, and there's nothing which is done gratuitously, basically, is I would say. Karan, you want to add to that?
No, it just continues to be authentic to
Yeah,
the story we're
absolutely.
telling.
The point was never titillation.
Yeah.
No.
Never.
100%.
That's not us or our cinema.
That's correct, yeah. But with so much, because see, social media gives people also the chance to instantly, give their feedback, right? And I think of late, the hate, the wokeness on social media is so much. People are ready to jump and dissect everything.
Yeah.
At a time like this, you as actors or you as makers, do you feel that it sort of interferes with your craft somewhere? Do you tend to think that, oh, if I do this, this might have this kind of a consequence?
I personally feel that all of us actors and creators here, we've been part of the industry before social media existed, so we know how it works. I think actors who are coming in to the industry in the day of social media are going to be treating this profession very differently.
Right.
I don't think any of us are bothered by what people are thinking online. I wasn't part of season 1, but as a fan of season 1, as someone who enjoyed watching season 1, I can tell you the reason I loved the show was because it was genuinely authentic. Any kind of intimacy was not in it to show intimacy. It actually took the story forward. It complicated that narrative a little bit more, added another layer to the character. It wasn't there for the heck of it. I'm sure you agree, because you said you were a fan of season 1.
So we made it for people like you mostly.
Yeah, we make it for the people who want to enjoy it. And while we were talking, I just realized, is Venki sir's look based on you?
His whole show is based on me. What's happened is over the years. Over the years, he's followed the
It's Rana
footsteps.
Naidu.
Yeah, like
It's our response to the wokeness.
We were feeling a little dyslexic right now.
Welcome to Rana Naidu.
Welcome to the
Go on, you can have a separate
dysfunctionality.
conversation.
No, they were saying something and you said something.
Yeah, that's how we operate as a unit.
Sorry,
You got
could
to
you
find
please
yours.
reiterate what
I'm
you
just
said about
saying our
wokeness?
reaction to the wokeness.
No, we don't have to listen to him actually.
जाके social media पे ले.
मैं बोलता हूँ Rana Naidu is our answer to wokeness.
Yes.
Most politically incorrect character alive is him.
And you still love him.
Yeah, we do.
You love him because of that. You identify with those characters.
Yeah.
You find representation in them.
But having said that, he's still accountable. Like, we still hold him accountable
Yeah.
for being politically incorrect at a certain level. So there's a good balance of both things, right?
Yeah, it's not like Rana and Naga have hugged it out at the end, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of drama there. It's not forgiving.
I mean,
so
you
if you're
can't,
going to behave like this,
as-
it's going to have
As
consequences.
makers, you have a responsibility to sort of make sure that it's balanced, and if you're crossing a line in a certain sense, there is accountability, there is repercussion for the character, and you show it in a light that if you are going to be not a good person, there will be consequences.
That's correct. You're rather quiet. What's your take on
They've
this?
been saying so much.
No, what's your take on this wokeness today? The intense, excessive hate on social media for
It's fair
everything.
enough. I mean, like
Yeah.
She doesn't
she
get that
said,
much,
right?
so-
I don't. I'm never really bothered.
Yeah.
So personally, it makes no difference. I'm agnostic to it completely.
Okay.
I don't invest myself so much.
That's
into-
very good.
Yeah, I
That's
don't.
actually really good.
I think it's a bubble. It's a self-created bubble, and it's best to stay out of it, and just be an observer than be invested in it.
Right, very true. You know, I was reading actually one of the interviews of Venkatesh sir after the first season had released, and he said that, you know, most of the conversations or the trolling that came from my South fans, because they are very used to my image as a family man. You know, like you said, he's quite saintly that way, I mean, image-wise. Rana, did you also feel the same, you know,
As a
the kind
person
of...
also he's
No,
the
not
same.
image-wise, as a
In
person.
reality,
As
he's
a
the same.
person,
Say again?
No, I'm saying, did you also feel that the trolling was more from your South fans?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Because they're
one
not
is-
used to seeing you that way.
First, not seeing us. I'm saying they've never like shows are not popular in the South. It's series. I mean, Netflix, Amazon haven't made shows there yet. I mean, this was one of the early shows that they've watched, and see, there was Mirzapur dubbed. There was stuff like that, but in a much smaller segment. This became, because I'm saying both of us were there, it became quite mainstream, and in particular to Venki sir's image, because he was largely doing family drama films.
Right.
And he's done some very, very early on in his career, lots of some negative stuff, but that kind of is forgotten over time. And I think for him, this was the show that kind of got him back into that element of doing it. So,
Yeah.
but that's inevitable. Anytime that you're doing something new and trying to break away from a mold, there'll be one bunch that liked you a lot that doesn't want to see that part. But then eventually, ultimately it's you as an actor. How do you start making them fall in love with this now? So that's where it is.
That's interesting. Yeah. But do fixers really exist?
Well,
Of course.
Where do you live? We live in India.
All about fixers.
You need a
No,
problem.
like the job
Are
that
you
you
looking
do.
for one?
No, do you know one? That's more
Are you
important.
asking for one?
See,
You
like-
ask
right
for
next
Rana
one.
to me.
Naidu.
There's one right next to
I'm
me.
saying let's
Yahi
just
pe hai.
talk across peers, right? I'm saying,
Yeah.
It's
whether it's
across.
business people, politicians,
The guy in your
wherever-
building.
the guy. So everybody has a guy who can fix something. Right? I'm
God.
saying a guy in the building who sort. I'm saying so is a fixer at different levels for different people.
Right.
And I don't know if they're officially termed fixers in the market, but
Yeah. They're called Jugaru people.
Yeah.
So there you go. Why did you ask that
Now,
question?
now that he explained it, I connected the dots.
It's in our culture anyway.
Yeah.
Fixing things, getting
Yeah.
it sorted.
Jugaad.
Jugaad is,
Is the word.
So
Yeah.
this is a different way of handling it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just a more sophisticated version
Professional
of the
jugaad.
Jugaad.
Professional.
Professional Jugaru.
It's like
Right.
an agency.
Fixer.
Expensive.
Wait till you see him fixing season 2.
Yeah, man.
Our character has a lot of things to fix, starting with his
Including
own
himself.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've seen making some really lofty promises to her in the trailer.
You saw the rest of the trailer, didn't you?
Now you'll see the consequences.
Right? He's just the talk. I'm the walk.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
That is true.
So I make the promises, she'll figure out how to keep.
Yeah.
That's how marriage also works.
I see.
It's like a therapy session.
Yeah, see, actually. No, but Abhishek, you know, you're such an interesting character. You know, male abuse, childhood abuse is something that is not perhaps spoken about, or maybe not projected enough. You know, in mainstream, you know, content space so much. And you know that also, I think, right from, you know, your character Jaffa, and in Sri, what was it in Jana? Jana to Jaffa. I think it also, I think, in a way shows the huge spectrum of masculinity on screen as well. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, see, to be very, very, very honest, I think this is the most difficult character which I have, like, you know, acted in. Like, this is really Jaffa. For the first time when I spoke to Karan and he said, ki, let's do it. I was the same thing, that I don't know. I have not really heard many stories about male child abuse or boys coming up and talking about something like that. And when I researched, I realized that it's a very common thing. So it's not only my female friends who went through situations in their own families. There are many guys. And the one correlation I found was suffocation. You know, the suffocation from your childhood to your adulthood. And it really breaks my heart. So every time I'm performing Jaffa, it really breaks me as a person, like, I just feel very bad for him, and I just try to represent that suffocation, which is in the society, which is not even talked about. So yeah, has been the approach. Thankfully, in this season, he's breathing a little.
Yeah.
And that was quite interesting.
Yeah, you brought such a tenderness to the character that he's there, and you can imagine a wound is tender until it heals, and you see it healing in season 2, I think. If I can,
and that's the journey. It's a healing journey.
You see the arc,
and to see him as a man-child is a very, very amazing process. Especially when you're behind the camera, just watching him do his craft. It's a wonder the way he does it. We had our first reading, I remember, last season in Hyderabad. And he comes down for one day. Karan and I are like, okay, let's read, and let's see how he brings his character. We had notes ready, and then he reads the first page. We're like, okay, you can go.
Sorry, we flew you down. He's fantastic as
He is.
Like, that pain is something else.
Thank you.
As a fan, like I'm telling you, as a fan, I told you yesterday what I loved about it.
Yes. Thank you. So sweet.
Yeah, but I think these days, we speak so much about the changing representation of women on screen. We do not talk enough about the representation of men, or masculinity for that matter on screen. Do you, Rana, you and Abhishek, both of you, do you see a change in the kind of roles coming your way today?
See, one is, I've never thought about this is what a film should tell. Like,
Sure.
it be masculine? There's a functionality of that story that you enjoy.
Right.
And I think whatever that story needs, you have to unabashedly tell it. So yes, of course, there's a change in society. So obviously there will be a change in the way storytelling is also viewed. What do you see largely that didn't happen before is they're more accepting of grayer characters across spectrums. It doesn't have, whether it's the main lead, whether it's a female cast, whether it's male, doesn't matter who, at what position it is, could be old, could be young. The acceptance of grey has become much more, and hence the style of writing is kind of pretty evolved. So I think that's probably the change I'd see. What it's portraying, I think that's a functionality of when things come out.
Right, absolutely. I
It's
think
like earlier, films we have always, when we were growing up, you always saw men as heroes or villain. That's the kind of representation we've always had. I think the new kind of representation, which I'm really excited and liking, and the kind of scripts I get usually because probably I've done a Jana or Jaffa, is the vulnerable side of men. And that is so exciting to explore, where you're not forced by society to be the hero. They want you to be
That's it.
Be a man.
Yeah.
To be a man. So
Yeah, and thankfully when you do roles like this, I think you as an actor also, you need to do some kind of unlearning, and that's, I think, is very, very interesting. Surveen, I remember in one of your earlier interviews, you had said that, you do come from a very conservative household. Sex education was something that you were not acquainted with, as a child. How important today do you think, from then to now, the Surveen that you are today, understanding, your rights, especially on a film set today, so that you know what to ask for?
I think more than an evolution as an actor, it's more about your own journey and what you've taken and processed while on the way. I think where I am, or where someone would be in their personal phases in their lives, on their own independent personal journey. For example, I feel very, very secure. Yeah, so it's easy to execute my rights today than it was. I'm being very, very honest and realistic, right? I don't come from a place of that insecurity where I would think before asking a question. I would think before grabbing an opportunity to stand for what I feel is right or wrong, whether it is on script or otherwise, So I think it's very, very relative to people, and in my journey, I feel at home. And I think that's the external manifestation is of what's really happened and the churning that has happened inside. So it's very relative.
Right.
And for the ones who don't know, Surveen is gangster on set. like there will be actors holding area, but all the actors will feel like we're in Surveen's tent. That's how.
No, it is Surveen.
It is
tent.
Surveen.
Is it?
Not the actors holding area.
No, that's
So
the board.
this is yeah.
No, it's
No?
Surveen's
So
tent now.
there was a tent where
Yeah.
on season 2, on day 2, I started sitting in that tent, and it was like a common tent. And the third or the fourth day, when I enter set, when I'm walking, and we were all chilling in that tent. I walk on set and I see Naina's tent.
So she's gangster on set. So
We can't enter that tent.
We pay our respect, salute, and
but the set is
Wow.
also so much fun because she's there. I mean, like,
Oh my god!
coffee will come correct time.
Oh,
Lunch
yeah.
will come correct time.
Mouth
this will come
freshener.
correct time. Like,
mouth freshener, yes.
it's just like you
And the
just
mint
follow
tea.
her routine. Most of the set,
all the time. Ye khao.
like correct. You'll be
Elaichi.
tired. Something will come.
So yeah.
Just put it.
I'm literally the Nana.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, you
actually.
can. I'm literally the Nana on set.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
But Kriti, tell me what, taking this question, to you, what is
Yeah.
your sort of, understanding your rights today as an actor, as a woman on set, especially on set?
I think I really evolved as a person over the years. Who you are as a person eventually ends up reflecting in the kind of work you do, how you work, how you speak, how you conduct yourself. And I think one of the things that I think has worked as a tool for me is to be able to set the tone of a conversation. If I'm starting a conversation, if I start on this pitch, it's gonna only escalate from there.
Right.
My tone always starts from here, probably stays there only. A big part of my personality is I come with the intent of I want to make this work. It's not you against me, it's you and me against the problem. And ever since I've started exercising that, and it's been a few years now, I'm much happier in life and at work.
Fabulous. That's great. And Rana, when are we going to see you in like a full-fledged Bollywood film?
Is this not a full-fledged Bollywood show?
It's not a, it's a
I
show,
don't know.
it's not a
It's a
film.
pan-India show.
Well, I don't know. Now suddenly languages disappeared from the scene. It doesn't matter which language the film is. It'll land up
Yeah.
anywhere across languages. So whatever my next is, we'll make sure it's in Hindi.
Okay.
So
All
it
right.
becomes Bollywood then.
Okay then. But thank you so much
Thank
to
you.
all
Thank
of
you
you
very much.
for
Thank
this
you.
chat. I look forward to season 2.
Thank you.
Don't have to
Thank
wait
you.
very long. June
Yes.
13th.
30
Yes.
June
Say that.
2025.
Say that.
Yes, we're going to watch it on 13th June.
Friday the 13th.
the reviews everywhere.
It's gone.
There.
Say it.
Say it.
Please watch Rana Naidu season
Hold a gun,
2
hold a
on... Please watch Rana Naidu season 2 on June 13.
On
Only on Netflix.
Thank you.